A few years ago, the BBC had a programme called Vicars Do Jokes. I always fancied having a go on it, and so you could, if you like, see these as my audition tapes. A few more stories. Elementary. The detective Sherlock Holmes had been decorating his house. On looking round, his friend Dr. Watson said to Holmes, "But I don't understand why you painted the door yellow." Sherlock Holmes responded, "Lemonentry, my dear Watson, lemonentry." Golf with God. Jesus and Moses were playing golf and they were on the 10th hole. Moses hit the ball and it heads straight for a pond. Just before the ball hits the water, the pond parts and the ball rolls up onto the green. Jesus winds up and hits one about to the same spot. Jesus' ball hits the water and skips across. It rolls across the green and finishes an inch from the hole. All of a sudden, lightning flashes and a ball drops from the sky. A fish swallows it. A bird picks up the fish and drops the fish onto a turtle. And that walks over to the hole and drops it in. Moses turns to Jesus and says, "I hate it when your dad plays." Jesus is watching. A burglar broke into a house one night. He shone his torch around looking for valuables when a voice in the dark said, "Jesus knows you're here." He nearly jumped out of his skin, clicked his torch off and froze. When he had heard nothing more, after a bit he shook his head and continued. Just as he pulled the stereo out so he could disconnect the wires, clear as a bell he heard, "Jesus is watching you." Freaked out, he shone his torch around frantically, looking for the source of a voice. Finally, in the corner of the room, his torch beam came to rest on a parrot in its cage. "Did you say that?" he hissed at the parrot. "Yep," the parrot confessed, then squawked, "I'm just trying to warn you that Jesus is watching you." The burglar relaxed. "Warn me, huh? Who in the world are you?" "Moses," replied the bird. "Moses?" The burglar laughed. "What kind of people would name a bird Moses?" "The same kind of people that would name their Rottweiler Jesus." Rude parrot. A young man named John received a parrot as a gift. The parrot had a bad attitude and an even worse vocabulary. Every word out of the bird's mouth was rude, obnoxious and laced with profanity. John tried and tried to change the bird's attitude by consistently saying only polite words, playing soft music and anything else he could think to clean up the bird's vocabulary. Finally, John was fed up and he yelled at the parrot. The parrot yelled back. John shook the parrot and the parrot got angrier and even ruder. John, in desperation, threw up his hands, grabbed the bird and put him in the freezer. For a few minutes, the parrot squawked and kicked and screamed. Then suddenly there was total quiet. Not a peep was heard for over a minute. Fearing that he'd hurt the parrot, John quickly opened the door to the freezer. The parrot calmly stepped out onto John's outstretched arm and said, "I believe I may have offended you with my rude language and actions. I'm sincerely remorseful and sorry for my inappropriate transgressions. And I fully intend to do everything I can to correct my rude and unforgivable behaviour." John was stunned at the change in the bird's attitude. As he was about to ask the parrot what had made such a dramatic change in his behaviour, the bird continued, "May I ask, what did the turkey do?" This is my favourite poem, The Big Guns. It's a World War I ode, thanks to Baldrick from Blackadder Goes Forth. Boom, 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 boom. 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 Boom, 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 boom.